From the Lakers, let's go to the Clippers. We thought this might happen. We talked about this happening, and it did happen. Paul George opted out of his contract with the Clippers, walked away as a free agent, said, no, I'm not going to stay. If he had opted in, they could turn around and make a trade. Instead, he opted out, and he went directly to the Philadelphia 76ers at 3:30 this morning. He reached agreement. That's a massive blow to the Clippers. Then you add into that equation, they elected at the last minute, after they got word that George was not going to negotiate with them, they decided to keep James Harden at $35 million per season. They signed James Harden 2 years, $70 million. Had a good season, totally tanked and disappeared in the playoffs, but they gave him 2 years, $70 million. On top of that, and this was strange, Russell Westbrook opted in to stay despite the fact he failed them in the postseason. But I hear that Westbrook opted in so they could make a trade, send him somewhere else. That deal has yet to happen. So the Lakers now are just not the same team. They turned around after Paul George went to Philadelphia at 3:30 on Monday morning. By 8 a.m., they signed young forward Derrick Jones, the ex-Dallas Maverick. They signed a very controversial, productive, but troubled guard in Kevin Porter, who was out of the NBA last season on a domestic abuse case, did not play at all in pro basketball. They brought him back. But please tell me, you think Derrick Jones and Kevin Porter are going to be the equal to what you had with Paul George? So that's a big, big problem for the LA Clippers. They're not the team they were. And I think the thing that's galling is they got Kawhi Leonard to take a reduced price because he signed a 3-year deal last year at a much lower price to keep the team together. And Paul George stood there, and Paul George said, that is great that Kawhi's doing this. Let's keep this thing together. And then Paul George opts out and signs at 3:30 on Monday morning to go to Philadelphia. So they're kind of a team that's in tatters. It's not the same franchise at this point in time. And I don't think Russell Westbrook brings you very much on the trade block. So that's the storyline there. John, your reaction to what's happening to Steve Ballmer's Clippers? Always a problem with the Clippers, isn't it?
Always a problem. I mean, there's the curse of the Clippers, and it goes way back to when they were the Buffalo Braves, back in the 70s. One thing after another with this franchise. When Paul George came here, we were all feeling the good vibes. He's an LA guy, went to school in California. Him and Kawhi, they had that press conference together, and all of that just, went away. I mean, traded in the middle of the night. This is just show me the money, right?
Wasn't traded. He opted out.
Pardon me, yeah.
Show me the money in the middle of the night. 3:30 this morning is when I got a text that said he is leaving. I mean, that's a big, big blow to the LA Clippers. And he was a fine player. My goodness, he's had a really good career, but he's gone. He's gone to Philadelphia, which now has its own version of the big three. Now, let me just quickly